AnnaLynne joins us now via Zoom. Welcome to the show, AnnaLynne.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're good, and thanks for coming here and opening up about your story, what you've been through. I'm sure it's not easy.
I'm grateful to be here with you guys. I'm thankful for this platform that we can talk about this issue in a very big way, so that others like me who might not feel there's a pathway through can perhaps find the healing they need.
How do you feel now that you've been diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder?
I mean, that's a scary thing, right?
Yeah.
It should
is.
be.
Yeah.
For someone like me, it's exciting because you can't fix a problem you don't know you have. Once you have a name for it, once you have something that you can dive into and start to begin to understand, hopefully. I do less understanding here now, and I do a lot more understanding here. This is very experiential, but I try to relay the experiences I've had so that other survivors might be able to hear from my story and say, oh, that sounds like something that I'm dealing with right now.
Yeah. Well, the truth is this: you've got to name the thing in order to tame the thing, right? And so now you got to name it to tame it. And now we know what it is. Now you know what you're dealing with. So let me ask you, DID, which is dissociative identity disorder, is formerly known as multiple personality disorder. Tell us why that distinction is so important to you.
Because they got it all wrong. DID, dissociative identity disorder, is accurate. The other is not, because I personally experienced this, and what I experienced was oneself fragmented into a bunch of pieces of me. So it was fragmented identities, and I use the analogy of a mirror. If you look in the mirror, your one face stares back at you, but take a hammer to that mirror and suddenly there's a million faces. I was one whole being, but I suddenly had a lot of faces after my trauma.
Yeah. It's just one personality, but it split, it fractured, it fragmented. So an even more accurate name would be fragmented identity disorder or protective identity disorder, because they each have a function and they were trying to protect you from this thing that was harming you, right?
They were.
And I know backstage prepping, you've had these cases in your practice, right?
At the same time, some of the most challenging but the most rewarding. I've seen two patients who had dissociative identity disorder. One had 10 fragments, one had 5. And the bulk of a lot of our sessions were just creating a safe space so they could sit there and cry and acknowledge the thing that had happened, right? And with no shame and no judgment, and to realize that that little girl that happened to, it was not her fault.
Well, that leads to the next question. AnnaLynne, tell us why you initially sought out therapy, which is so important in this particular case.
I read a book by Benjamin Fry, who's the author of The Invisible Lion. He's a psychotherapist in England and background in neuroscience. And he goes into his story in his first book, and I started having blackout panic attacks. And this particular day was the worst of them all. I read his book. He talked about having childhood sexual abuse. My body started to burn in certain areas that corresponded with what had happened to him. I took a shower to calm myself down. I ended up collapsing in the shower from a full body panic attack. I literally crawled out of the shower, found my phone, looked up the closest EMDR specialist, eye movement desensitization reprocessing specialist, and started intake within 4 days. And within 3 weeks, I had a whole new life story.
Wow.